Look at this, Doctor. We're live.
We are live, and we have
Nobody
one
ever
guy here.
expects to be live. And look, we have 0 people here.
No, we got one. We got a Paul Bruno.
Oh, hey, Paul. I passed you. Where the hell? Where was I? I saw your car. I was like in traffic going the other way. Where the hell? It doesn't matter. How you doing, Paul? What's happening, brother? Dr. Art. How are you, my brother? Have you been
Good? Where is everybody? Here they come.
Well, you know what happened? We didn't post anything for the live tonight. So usually people will start lining up.
Oh yeah.
When they know that we're going to be on, but we didn't do that tonight because we were busy at the dog club doing dog things.
Dog things, yeah. Yes. Oh well, Fubar's here, so we're good.
Well, as long as Fubar's here, it's you know. But then again, so is Joker and Bill McKeiska and Frank Moreau. Hey, Frank, I've never seen you before. Fubar the Axe. KJ Kiley, Todd Denenio, Buddy Carfano, all the regulars rolling in. Little Roy Miller, what's happening?
Thunderstrucker, Tim Square, Carmudgeon, Bob's Chop Shop.
Yeah, all the big shots are rolling in, man.
Yeah, all the big names in viewing.
So we're getting blasted. We have, like, there's no exaggeration. They're talking about like 30 inches of snow.
Well, and they keep changing it. I mean, it's like 2 days ago, it's at 20 inches. Then they went to 4 inches. Then this morning it was 26 inches, and now it's 4 inches again. The storm keeps going up and down. Well, I guess we'll just find out Saturday when we wake up. It's either ice or snow.
I don't want to find out. I think I'm just going to like eat a bunch of Benadryls or something and just
zone out until Tuesday when the roads are clear.
Yeah, wake me up and it melts. Let's see.
We have 0 here too, so we're damn near complete.
What happened now?
0 is here.
Oh, 0. The dynamic duo, Fubar and 0. I mean, it's like there's the polarity, man, that we hover in between.
Mm-hmm.
American Trucker 72 TX340. What's happening? Paul Capizzola, who's ready for the storm? Not me. I'm not ready for the storm.
I'm ready to go to Florida tonight. Yeah.
No lie, bro. I did that once. It was a few years ago. It was like February, and this is 4 years ago. So they kept talking about this major storm, sub-zero temperatures, ice, and the whole 10 yards. And I looked at Kat and it says, "Round up the dogs, put them in the truck, and we're getting the hell out of here." And we did. We shot right down to Florida. Todd Denio got the 67 Marlin. Yes, congratulations, brother. Joker saying, take advantage. XJ 4x4 video incoming. I don't want to shoot a video out there. I don't want to drive out there. I don't want to know anything about it. I grew up in New York City, right? So winters, we had one winter, one of the last years I was there, we had 17 storms. And each storm totaled more than 5 inches in one season. And I was just like, done.
Done. I know. That's how I got to Vegas. Yep. I was done with winter. But you're going to be doing, you'll go old school. You'll be doing videos from your house garage for a couple days while you're iced in.
Yeah, actually, I have a tech video I'm going to do tomorrow. I probably should do from the house here.
There you go.
Buddy Carfano wants to know, are you going to accept the UTG challenge?
Yes, and we talked about this, and I've filmed it now 4 times, and I just don't like it. But yes, I've accepted the challenge, and I have a potential challenge vehicle, and more to come. It was just rain today and stuff, and by the time I got home, everything was wet, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going outside in the cold and the wet. You're gonna wait.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to talk about it now. I will look forward to seeing the video.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ego death, please. Ego death, please. Snow is nice if it doesn't last 6 months. Leave the channel now. Leave the channel. Snow's never nice. Go watch a pro snow channel. People will like, oh, I love the snow. Yeah, Go there. Not here, man. I'm mad. I'm angry at nature right now.
I'm surprised. Oh yeah, that's who's saying that. Yeah, ego death, please. I'm surprised you weren't on Marketplace getting a snowmobile today.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh no. I
You
wrote
pop up. Oh, I was on Marketplace at 3 a.m, and hey, I came home and I had this.
I rode a snowmobile once, and I was like, why? Why would anybody do this? Instead of riding the snowmobile, why don't you take that same energy and get the hell out of where the snow is?
Yeah, take all that money for the snowmobile and buy yourself a nice plane ticket to Florida, or Cuba, or anywhere south.
Anywhere. I'll take a Cuban prison over an icy day.
Yeah, death. Yeah.
Todd Denio is agreeing that snow can be fun. Leave the channel, Todd. Go away. We don't need that kind of around here.
We don't need that kind of enthusiasm and happiness.
Right. Anthony Barber is saying, I don't think you guys will get any snow. You're pretty south. Wrong. We're in Middle Tennessee, which is more Midwest. I think we're lower Midwest more than South. Like South is like, Alabama and Georgia, and like we're above all of that. So when the jet stream comes down, like the jet stream normally passes about 100 miles north of us, which would be like Bowling Green, Kentucky. They get winter, and above that they get crazy winter, and we're just below that. So we get some influence from the north through the jet stream and some influence from the Gulf, a little bit of both. So that's what's happening here now. It's like the warm, wet air is coming up from the Gulf through Texas and Arkansas and all of that, and the jet stream is coming down, and they meet right where we are. So we're like ground zero. Yeah. Maximum suck. Okay. Maximum total suck.
Crazy One Crap's got a good question about 3/4 of the way up there.
Tech question. He has a tech question. Crazy crap. I get a 96 F-150 with a 302, and it's a dog. Do you think swapping the EFI to a carbon intake would improve anything?
Nope.
Not really. Well, okay, so it's going to be a throttle body on that, right? 96 Street.
It's just the big plenum throttle body, just like a different version of a Mustang intake. Yeah.
Yeah. There's probably something else, although like those 302s and those big trucks were a dog. You'd be better off with an exhaust and gears. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, like is it 4-wheel drive? Is it lifted? Do you have oversized tires on it? There's so many different factors that'll make that 302. They'll really overwork that 302. Because it was just like a base, F-150, 96 F-150. 302 moving along okay. It's not going to be a hot, but it wouldn't be anything sluggish enough that you would notice it was a dog in daily driving. So you probably have something wrong there. Yeah, a good straight tune-up and an exhaust will do a ton of good. Yeah. Paul Bruno is furious at nature. Yes.
Well, he's originally from New Jersey, so he knows winter sucks. So he was out in California and he got spoiled, and now he moves here and he's like, it's not so bad. He'll be going back.
Well, you're getting sucked into the Tennessee winter. It does this. It's usually t-shirt weather all the way through the end of November. Then it starts to get a little chilly, and then we get like the second summer, third summer, like sometime in like late December, and it'll go into the 70s and even occasionally hit 80. And then all of a sudden, the bottom falls out. Just as you're ready to just, we made it through the winter unscathed. Bam! These fronts start coming in ice. It's a freaking disaster.
And then 3 days later, it's gone, and it's 3 weeks after that, it's spring, and it's 80 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when tornado season starts.
Yeah. To clean up all the mess that the winter did not kill. Yeah.
Whole March and April. You're always listening for the alerts, and you're always checking on Ryan Hall. What's Ryan Hall? You all got to stay here now.
Yeah, if there's storm chasers in your neighborhood, it's a bad day.
Yeah. And Mexican Spec has entered the chat.
Nice. We got everybody here.
American Trucker saying, when it snows in Tennessee, it snows. I know I have hit it in a big rig. Maximum suck is an understatement.
There's really no equipment to get rid of it.
No,
the people that have the equipment don't know how to use it. They don't know how to drive a plow truck. They're garbage men with a big toy.
they lay down a lot of brine, which is what they're doing now. Which
they did that. Yeah, they were starting to do that yesterday already. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, because now it's all just going to get washed away because it's raining out.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I mean,
they got it. Let's use the brine. We have piles of it.
Let's see. Yeah, I agree. Way too cold this year. Can't wait for global warming. They promised us global warming. We haven't gotten it yet.
No, we haven't. Until I can plant palm trees here and they don't die, there's no global warming.
Zero is saying a tornado sounds like the craziest thing to experience. It makes earthquakes seem like nothing. Dude, they're crazy. And it's not something you ever get used to. You know what I mean? It's like, because they're unpredictable. Like they just pop up out of the blue. Like now, so when I first moved here, you didn't have all of these weather channels like right on top of stuff, right? When I first moved here, it was just like the regular weather, and it would be like, yeah, there's a chance of tornadoes, and that's it. You just go with it like that. And I'll tell you, probably between like 8 and 10 o'clock, chance of tornadoes. Now they have it pretty well pinpointed, where like 20 minutes ahead of time, a half hour at a time, I'll tell you it's going to happen here, and it's going to go here through here, and here. But the first couple of years that I was here, when the tornadoes would come, it was like crazy, because all you could do, and I remember doing this at Stanley, all you could do is just stand like in the general direction that you know the wind is coming from, where the weather's coming from, which is
and look.
You stand on the patio and you watch for funnel clouds. That's it. That's all you can do.
Up at the top, 72 TX 340.
Do you know, Dr. R? Okay, so let's test your Mopar knowledge, Dr. R.
Okay.
72 TX 340. What does his name say?
TX 340?
Yes.
It's
code.
Nope, stumped. Sorry.
All right, let's see if anybody else knows.
I could take guesses, but it would just be like.
Okay. Wish you would do more videos on consignment dealer cars. I got one inspected and it was a disaster, but it looked amazing. My source for dealer consignment cars, he got his panties all like wadded up and right. So I haven't really had access to any of them lately, but I have thought about doing a one of those like I was doing with the marketplace. Can we do the video and just go through the listings? So I have thought about doing that with some of the consignment dealers, going through their inventory, but that might be picking on them. I don't want to pick on them. I don't want to pick on them just for the sake of picking on them. It's one thing when something like that lands in your lap and you say, okay, I have to do a video on this. We got to show this. And it's
here it is.
Entirely when you go fishing for it and you're looking for the problem, which is the reason I know. If you happen to have a listing of a car like that, send it to me. Post a link to it over here, and I'll check it out. I would do a video that way, but I really feel funny about just going to a dealership and start picking apart their inventory. It's not cool. Nobody got it, huh? TX is the code for black.
Oh, okay.
So it's a black 340.
Something.
It's either a Cuda, maybe a Challenger, Demon, or Duster.
Oh, okay. Not seen too many black Dusters in the wild.
No, you actually don't, do you?
No.
I'm trying to think if I've ever actually, no, you don't get to think of it. I don't think I've ever seen a black Duster.
No.
Challenger. The 72 black Challenger 340.
Oh, that's a sweet car.
That is a sweet car.
Yeah.
Even the frowny face Challengers look good in black.
John Q Public, a couple up from there. He says your Craigslist fraud videos are were my favorite.
I haven't done any Craigslist fraud videos. But,
when's the last time you're on Craigslist? It might be something to look at. Yeah.
Craigslist has been dead for years.
Yeah. As soon as they start charging $5 to list your car, everybody abandoned them.
Yeah, I check it occasionally, like once every couple of months. I'll pop through there, or if I'm hunting for something specific, I'll go through there. But you remember when Craigslist was the beginning and the end of search? It was amazing.
Right.
Sweaty
got greedy and killed the whole thing.
I've shown up on 4 other channels. Which one, man? Which I know the one guy, Jack Morgan, did a thing on classic cars or classic cars dead. I haven't seen the video. He's a good guy. I'm sure it was okay. But what channels did you see me pop up on? A pink Duster would be nice. I've seen pink Dusters. Actually, there was one popped up on a video not too long ago. Yes, KJ Kylie, he is correct. Tuxedo black, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling trying to see what channels I popped up on.
Oh, did you get notifications at all? Did they tag you on them or no?
Oh, wait, here we go. One guy with a bowl cut and a couple other financial ones and some car channels. Really? I ended up on financial channels? Have you seen the numbers, Dr. Art?
No, in fact, no. We talked yesterday briefly, and I think I was still dumbfounded. So didn't want to break that euphoric feeling of $100 an ounce.
Keep them busy for a second.
All right. Yeah. What else is there besides Marketplace? Someone asks. Yeah, Craigslist. And Craigslist is nothing like it once was. It's because Craigslist when I first moved to Tennessee and I was flipping a lot of cars, I would pull one a week off of Craigslist, easy. You know.
I bought a lot of stuff off of Craigslist. So gold currently is at $4,800 even, up $38. So gold is closing in on the $5,000 mark, and silver is currently at $92.45, which is down $2.27.
Yeah.
And at some point it was over 96. I think when I talked to you yesterday, it was like 96 or something like that. So hope you guys are enjoying the ride. Did you all start buying when I told you like it's $17? All right.
McGregor, he's 3 up from the bottom here. I have a 318 Magnum out of a Jeep, deciding to poke and stroke it or another route.
Well, you're not going to get much out of poking. So a 60 over bore, you end up at like 323 cubic inches.
Not much, yeah.
Right. You can throw a 4-inch crank in it. I forget what you get there. The 4-inch crank will help make it really torquey. I don't know, but what do you
or just another, or just find a 360. They're everywhere.
Yeah, like
find Magnums. Yeah.
Are you just randomly considering modifying a 318 Magnum randomly for a random purpose, or is there a mission that you're on? Helps to have a mission.
And have you it tuned yet, sir? Because a tune will do wonders for that Magnum engine.
Dread Dip Ooh, I see something fancy there. You got a fancy.
Yeah, that's cool. He's
All
got
right,
some fancy front motor car. Yeah.
that's a funny car.
Yeah. Oh, it's a funny car. Oh, okay.
That's a funny car. No, that's a fuel altered. It's a funny car chassis, but it's got dragster headers on it.
Yeah.
Tony, new follower here. Following closely your top fuel series. I'm sorry. I've been tasked with tuning our AA fuel altered. Oh, good luck with that. Okay. I tracked down the 2 drag monthly issues and will post them to Google Drive if interested. I would personally like to see them disappear forever. But other people might find that information useful. Listen, this is the only thing I can tell you about tuning your fuel altered, okay? It's different than every other type of fuel car. So if you try to like compare notes with like a dragster guy, no, they work differently. Don't ever compare notes with a funny car guy because they really work completely differently. They're close to a nostalgia type fuel car, but not exactly. Oof, good luck. You're gonna need it. Good luck.
And that's not being mean. It's just
I'm not being mean, man. I love you. I love what you're doing. I've been there every time I got the T-shirt. Good luck. Good luck. Let's see.
Go up to the top of your Eugene, Colorado.
I'm looking.
750.
750.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Candelaria. Eugene Candelaria. Building a Chevy 305 G body. Dr. Art's building that. Bottle rocket copy. What is the max clearance on the rods and mains I can reasonably get away with? I automatically, so if it's standard, okay, well, let's say you're going to send it to a machine shop to get cut, order 10 bearings and have the crank cut 11. And that'll give you an extra 1,000 oil clearance. Now with bottle rocket, I did not go to such lengths. All I did was reach into the box of old bearings that I had.
Of used bearings.
Found ones that had even copper on them, which tells me that they're 1,000.5 worn, and threw them all in there. So I never bothered taking any measurements. There was no precision involved in it at all. Because it's not that kind of engine. It's like it's a grenade. You got to blow it up. I don't care. Right? But if you're looking for that loose, happy thing that'll stay together, yeah. And then remember, you're gonna have to increase oil pressure. You're gonna have to increase oil volume to make up for the extra clearance. But which I never did. That engine, by the way, has 0 oil pressure. It sits there, zero. So, but as soon as you touch the throttle, bam, it jumps up to 50 pounds. So it's fine for what I use it for. You couldn't drive it on the street like that every day, but it doesn't get driven. So yeah, just to have your crank cut an extra 1,000, which for me that's standard practice. Almost any time I'm building a high performance engine, I'm gonna have to crank cut. I always go that extra 1,000 because I like my motors loose and sloppy.
Getting back to the guy with the 318, he says it's a daily driver, and yes, the 360 was the thought. Okay.
Oh wait, hang on.
Well, or go dead drip here. We'll get back to McGregor.
This okay. You said you forgot to mention I've been working with Dave Benjamin. So Nasty Dave Benjamin is one of the smartest humans I have ever encountered. We set the W fuel at the track record at Mission his last year with it. I was shocked to see you wearing one of his shirts on one of his streams. So Dave Benjamin is one of the smartest people I have ever met. He's a little nutty, okay, but he's one of the smartest people I ever met. And he turned me on to something in 1993 that set off like wheels in my head, okay? And it had to do. I can't really explain it to you because it's such a long thing. I don't want to take up this whole live with this. But he mentioned something that he observed in a film, okay, where they had this was back in 1970, 1971. and it was one of these art drag films because there were people making artistic drag racing videos everywhere at that period of time. So I forget the name of the movie now at this point, but what they did was they took a super high-speed camera, right? And they shot a dragster and slowed it down to super slow motion. Okay. And as the car was doing a burnout, you could see each pipe fire. Okay. And as each pipe fired, the wheel would jerk. Okay. So you could actually see when you slowed that down to that speed, you could actually see each power pulse's impulse impact on the tire, and it moved like a ratchet. Okay. And once he told me about that, and I went and I found that film and I observed it and I watched it, and then I started putting two together with things that I had seen and experienced along the way. It changed my whole perspective on what the proper setup is. And that was right about the time after I started employing some of that knowledge into things I was working with at the time. That's when I wrote those two stories. So I should give Dave Benjamin some credit for that. The guy was absolutely brilliant. Nuts, like freaking nuts, but he's brilliant. So you got a great mentor there. If you can't beat him. Yeah, I'm sorry. Where were we now?
McGregor with us. He wanted to stroke and poke a 318. And
second call.
Yeah. Well, and there's a few more up from that. He said it's a daily, and yes, he thought about a 360. So, and it's a second car and a Jeep. So.
Yeah, you're really probably best off just throwing a 360 in there.
Throw a 360 in there, and then Mr. McGregor, if you go down 2 comments from that Mexican spec, put up a link to my channel. Go over to my channel and look at the JTech tuning videos before you spend too much money on your 360.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or your 318 and put a tune on it, and it'll make a substantial difference. The one I did for the buddy of mine he had that big Dodge travel van, with the fridge and the beds and everything in it. He was going to California. We put a tune on it, and he goes, "Oh yeah," because before he would go up those mountains in Colorado, and he'd be in the slow lane doing like 25. Now he's like keeping up with traffic.
Another miracle.
Another miracle brought to you by electronics.
Let's see. Pick one left, all right? While I roll a cigarette.
Okay, Eric Swenson. Hi, Tony and Art. I finally finished the Holley Sniper 2 swap on the 86 F250 351. Runs much better, more power. Have to let off the pedal because I'm either spinning tires or warping the speedometer, LOL.
Oh, I'm glad it worked out for you.
Yeah. Eric, what motor was in your 86 F250? Oh, 351 Windsor? Yeah, with a good tune, they'll run.
Let's see.
Dean Stevenson's talking about Bigfoot. And I'm way down on the chat here.
Sweaty fat guy wants to know, should I build a scoop to cover my blower with a hood, or just wrap it in a trash bag while driving it? Oh yeah, because you want to scoop to cover your blower. You could do like a deflector, which would be pretty cool. Take a look at although you're on air cleaners on top, right? But go find pictures of Don Garlick's 1956 car, where he had the 8 Strombergs on top of the blower, or six Strombergs on top of a blower, and he built this deflector that goes over the top of it like that. Something like that.
Or just bolt a little air deflector in front of the blower on the hood. Air just go right over it. Yeah.
Oh, Kathy Bananas went to the store. Hang on one second, guys.
Okay. 7 Dog Mageddon outside. Butch Dix 393. This is Butch. What was the name of your magazine you used to write for? Well, Tony wrote for a bunch of magazines, Butch.
Hello. What did I do?
Yeah. Butch is asking, what magazines did you used to write for?
Oh, God. Who didn't I write for? I never wrote for Popular Hot Rodding. I never wrote for Carcraft. I never wrote for like Super Chevy or any of those magazines. That's about it.
The rest of them you wrote for.
It's easier to list the magazines I didn't write for than the ones that I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you have a scoop on the carbs. I just mean to keep water and low-flying birds out of it while driving. So what kind of air cleaners do you have on it? Why don't you just do like what they do with like the off-road cars or the dirt cars and just build a metal deflector around the front? I wouldn't worry about. So if you're doing with two like open element or like a big single open element air cleaner, I wouldn't worry too much about water getting in there. You know, the water's going to stay to the outside of it. And as you're driving down the road, if you want to keep the water from getting blown into it, put a little deflector around the front. You know, or you could put a scoop on top of it. You get one of those like what's the ones they used to use on the drag strips? A couple of pro stock guys use them too. The formula, it's whatever formula scoop it is. Jenkins had one on his Monza, and a lot of like the Econo Rail guys back in the day used to run them. It's a Formula 5000 type scoop. It's robbed from one of them Formula type of racing. And
maybe just flip the scoop around, face backwards.
Yeah,
it's not like a bug eater. It's not like a fuel engine. It's just a scoop. Yeah, flip it around.
That would actually look pretty snazzy.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then there was silence.
Silence. And then there was silence. At the 32-minute mark, there was silence.
Nasty Dave Benjamin. I have not heard that name in a long time. Really good guy.
But isn't he like most of the Nitro people? He's a little crazy.
He's a little extra crazy, I'm going to say.
He's got some extra. Yeah.
He's got some extra. I went to dinner with him and who the hell was it? We went to dinner. It was me, Nitro Neil Bisaglia. And we were sitting across from each other. And we were both young guys. We were both in our 30s. And Dave, and I'm trying to remember who the other guy was. I should remember him. I don't remember who he was. Okay, but he was another fuel altered, like a veteran. Why I can't? His name is escaping me right now. But we're sitting there. So Neil and I are sitting across from each other, and we're listening to these two talk. You know, like war stories. Okay, so the one of them is like, yeah, I remember one time, we put oil in the tire, got into the guardrail, I ended up fracturing my arm, this, that, and the other thing. So then the other one, I think it ends up with Dave. And Dave says, so that's not as bad as fire. The first fire I had, I was in the hospital for 3 months. They had to rebuild my eyelids because he looks like an elf, right? It burned his eyelids off, right? So then the other one goes, yeah, I had a fire about that time too. Same thing. It was going to burn you, the skin crafts, this, that, and the other thing. He says, I died at least once. I flatlined at least once during that. And Dave goes, that's nothing. I died 3 times, right? You can't make this up. Okay, this is so Neil and I are sitting across from each other like, do we really want to do this
shit? They're out dueling death with each other.
And then with that, okay, I remember this. I made eye contact with Neil, and I'm like, this is crazy, right? Dave turns to me, looks me in the eye, and he says, don't ever be afraid to die. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Okay, well. So, yeah, you had to be there. You had to be there. Fuel Alton people are a little bit different. Fun with cars. Fun fact: I drank beer with Nitro Neil in Nyland, Michigan, and Kenosha, Wisconsin. He's great. Neil is just awesome. Neil is awesome. I haven't talked to him in 30. What year is this now? Yeah, I haven't talked to him in 30 years. He was a great guy.
Someone was right at the top and just scrolled up. Nolan Mahoney.
I got it. Any tips for performance on a late 60s Pontiac engine? I understand that it may not be as flexible as the Chevys. Nolan, you need to seek out
Sweaty fat guy.
From Sweaty Fat Guy. He bleeds Pontiac turquoise. I mean, this guy is just, this is his, and he should see a doctor. But at any rate, he's the guy that can answer any and all Pontiac questions for you, much better than either Dr. On or I could.
Yeah.
Bill McKayska, thank you for the super chat. Tony, did you ever know or have an opinion on Buddy Arrington, a guy from Virginia that was stubbornly still campaigning Chrysler products in NASCAR without factory support long after it was gone into the 1980s? Yeah, there were a couple of guys. There was Arrington doing that in NASCAR, and there was I'm trying to think of the pro stock guy, Reed Wisnat, and he was running Mopars when they were completely outclassed in pro stock. Anybody who's stuck with, okay, so by that stage of the game, and I'm not saying anything bad about these guys, right? But by that point, it had been proven clear that the plain hemispherical combustion chamber, as found on the 426 Hemi, was a dead chamber, and technology in both circle track racing and in drag racing had moved on. Okay, and that's where really the Ford Crescent style combustion chamber, the Hemi, the twisted Hemi with the two quench pads, that's when that style combustion chamber started to take over. So those guys were more chasing a dream or weren't very technically savvy at that point. I mean, I admire their efforts. They were fighting a losing battle by that point. Thank you for the super chat. Going nuts. What's this? Freddie, we were fighting an oil pressure issue, and when we pulled the oil pump off, we looked at a gouge in the rotors, and he goes, "These fucking things, I'm going to make my own from now on." He makes everything. The guy's amazing. He looks at a part. I can't even list. Did you ever see the 3-valve heads that he made? The Chrysler 3-valve heads. He was like, 2 isn't enough. 4 is too many. I'm building a 3-valve. And I think that's the one that burned his face off too. But yeah, Dave is great. Dave is great.
Sweaty fat guy at the top here. He's talking to Nolan.
The Pontiac is all about torque. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got him covered.
Yeah.
We could step out of the way. And Fubar just put up a link to my merch. So we have our shirts and we have our hats and we have other things that are in the store at UncleTony'sGarage.com. So if you guys want to buy any of that stuff, you can head over there and do it. And actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea because the last couple of videos I put out were bombed, so I can actually use the income right now.
You want to keep the lights on? Buy a T-shirt. Yeah.
Please! I'm spiraling into the toilet. It's okay. It's okay. We actually had our best month ever in December, and now we're paying for it. One of the worst months ever in January. But thank you for putting up the link, Fubar. How's the doggo van? That's great. We just used it now. We just came back from the dog club. That's why I was late.
I like how the picture of a cat is asking about a doggo van. That's classic.
I didn't realize, yeah. See, it's funny, right? I can spot a few altered in the avatar, but I couldn't spot a cat.
The cat.
I'm not afraid of cats.
Yeah, Mopar Man 78, the second one from the bottom there.
Mexican spec. A guy in my area goes and does videos at salvage yards, etc. Made $1,000 last month. My buddy has posted short videos and made 200 the other day and 60 while he slept just from his posts. That's the one nice thing about YouTube. You know, when you've got, I've got, I don't even know, someplace between like 15 and 1,700 videos up. So over the course of a day, you know, any given day, which one, I don't know, okay, some of them get 1 view, some of them get 100 views, some of them get 1,000 views. So that's the nice thing. That's the one real benefit of doing YouTube, is that every time you put a video out, it keeps paying you forever. So I've got videos we put out 8 years ago. I'm still collecting money off of. So you get to make money while you sleep.
Eric Swenson loved your Holly bashing.
Well, thank you, Eric.
I really expected there to be gasoline in a match on the Belvedere.
There isn't enough there to burn. Think about it. Right?
There's no interior; it's all metal.
I could douse it with gas and torch it. The seat would burn, but nothing else. There's nothing else flammable in the car. Cold War Motors, what's happening, man? I haven't seen you in a bit. We still need to get back together again. We need to do another live, bro. You starting a small block Chevy engine redo. Excellent. Is there any truth to the idea that engine bearings will fail from age? No. Even if they look okay when I took it apart. Happy New Year and all the best in 2026. They cannot and will not fail from age. They can be severely overheated and not show it. Now, when that happens, when you take the engine apart, the bearings, they lose their crush. So in other words, you put the bearing in the cap, okay? It kind of snaps down into the cap. You know what I'm talking about, right? But if the bearing has been severely overheated, pounded, like long, prolonged periods of detonation, not necessarily pounded to where it gets wider, but it'll actually take that crush out of it. So just a rule of thumb, if you take an engine apart and the bearings fall out of the caps or fall out of the shells as you take them apart, throw them away. But if the bearing is still stuck in there, you got to pop it out with your thumb. No, you could go 1 trillion miles and it'll never show any. And Zero just put up a link to Cold War Motors.
Nice.
Yes, that's the channel. You're looking for a channel, just like you're ready to fall asleep and you just want to zone out to something like cool and just get absorbed into the universe and in a happy place, you know, an alternative to the rest of the world. There you go. There's the link.
And right above that, Shannon. Oh, yeah.
Shannon, yeah, I kind of think I need to do the YouTube thing. I'm always in the garage anyway. Might as well make something while building cars, trucks. I encourage everybody to try it. I encourage everybody to do it. You never know what's going to catch on. And we many channels just take off like that actually got started like in that our orbit kind of thing that have actually surpassed us, do much better than we do. So anybody has a chance to do it. Try it. It's not easy getting started. It's not easy getting traction. But if you
it's easy to start. It's hard to get the results that you're hoping for when you start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to start. You film your stuff. You get a free editor and thing. You put it together. It's going to look like crap because everyone's first videos all look like crap. And you put it out there and you get 6 views. That's a win because you've done something.
Yep. And don't get discouraged. Sometimes you got to just keep plugging it. But here's the thing. All right, I give you the quick, because I know there are other people who are interested in this too. I have gotten many people started over the course of the years that I'm doing this using this basic method. Okay. First, understand that right now nobody knows who you are. Okay. So for them to give you a chance, you have to make your videos short. They have to be your thumbnails have to grab the eye. There has to be something that talks through the thumbnail. Your titles have to have a lot of key and descriptions, keywords. Be direct about it. You know, this is what this video is about. And because nobody knows who you are, they're reluctant to give a chance to a longer video. So what you want to do is when you first get started, when you're just starting to get traction, do a bunch of 1, 2, 3, 4 minute long videos, not shorts, videos. Shorts will get you views, but you'll never get paid for them, and they never really count towards your overall channel. So stay away from shorts. 1 to 3 minute long videos. Jump in there with the information. Don't stop talking until it's done. No pauses, no music, no segues, no fancy editing, nothing. The camera goes on and you go like that.
And no intro.
No intro.
No intro.
Honestly, I click on a video. If it's somebody who I don't know, I haven't seen anything that they've done before, and it's got an intro, I click off during the intro. I don't want to deal with it. You're wasting my freaking time. So the reason why you want to do that, you go right, is because until people know you, they're reluctant to click on you, and you don't want to waste your time, and you don't want to give them a chance to click away. So as long as you keep talking and there's no pauses and stuff like that, like, you know, don't pan off to the birds flying out of the bushes because they're going to click away. Just give them the information that they clicked on the video for, and as soon as you're done giving them information, you know, you can say, you know, like, subscribe, share, you can do all that stuff, but then boom, get right out of there. And they will appreciate that. And they will come back and they will watch more of your videos because you were direct and you gave them the information and you didn't waste their time. And that's how you start to build traction. Do 50 to 100 of those videos and do them consistently, 3 a week, 4 a week, if you can, pop one out every day, and you'd be amazed. It takes a lot of discipline. It's a lot of hard work, but you can do it. That formula that I just gave you has launched dozens of channels. Would you agree with anything I said there?
No, I agree all of that. I mean, I learned a lot from listening to you. You actually, you know, you have to put your ego aside. Means you know nothing about, when you first start, you know nothing about YouTube, and then 2 years later, you still know nothing about YouTube. You learn shit every day. Because like when I first started, I was just putting my project on, so I remember what I did. But then when I decided I was going to learn editing and start doing this, oh my god, they're horrible. But you watch them and you're horrible, and you go, oh, okay, I won't do that shit again, you know. And you don't get views until you learn kind of how the sausage is made. Then it starts to take off. Because the first time it took me, you know, year and a half to get monetized, and you know, it took me 60 days this time after I got hacked. So, and I had to start from zero again because I had all my videos were gone. So.
That's tough. I deleted. We were doing a video a day for the first like 6 months, 8 months, until we got monetized, until we got our 4,000 hours and 1,000 subs. We were doing a video a day, and they were terrible. And I've deleted almost all of them. Now this was bad stuff. I was like, oh my god. I mean, I did a lot of cringeworthy things, and there's still a bunch of cringeworthy shit on there, but I've deleted all of those videos. And the other day, Kathy was like, look, I found these hard drives and I've got all your old videos on them. And I was like, well, let's take a look, right? And all I needed was like,
you're like, oh god.
And I'm like, no, burn those things. They need to disappear forever.
Yeah.
Good luck with your endeavors.
But do it. See, and try it out. It's when you first start. If you look at it like I'm just trying this and it's fun, it can be fun, but don't let it ruin you.
Look, it's the rare and elusive Jeff Brower.
Jeff Brower.
What's happening, brother, man? I agree. Long intros and worthless background music ruin many channels to me. Pick a reason that exit the video. Yep. Yep. But that's how you get started. You know, that's not how you don't, you know, what I'm giving you is the formula to go from zero to running. Obviously, other people have done it in different ways. There's a lot more luck involved when you do it the other way. My way is more of a formulaic approach that's actually working with the algorithm, because my way gets the viewer to stick for that extra, even if it's just a couple of seconds, they're going to stick around. See, here's the thing. YouTube counts view duration as a sign of success. And most people click away off of a video in the first 30 seconds. They don't actually count it as a view until a certain period amount of time has passed. So that's why. So if you do a 10-minute video, getting somebody to stick around for a minute, you know, you've got a 10%. Sorry, whatever.
Yeah, you got a 10% view rate and
view ratio, right? But if it's a 1 minute long video and you get them to stick around for the whole thing, let's just say you've got 100% view duration, and that counts towards whether the algorithm
and they'll push that video out more than they'll push your 10-minute video that you worked 3 days on.
Right.
You trip over your dog in the backyard and you know, talk about patio furniture for a minute, and then it's a better video than, you know, oh, I built this whole top fuel engine from scratch and, you know, out of hay. You know, nothing.
Justin is going to try just what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose. Fun with Cars is saying, YouTube community manager told me that whatever you know about the algorithm, tomorrow it's different and it changes constantly. And he's right. But the basic that I'm telling you about now never changes. They judge your videos, the quality of your video. First, the algorithm respects frequency, okay? If the algorithm sees that you post every day or every other day or every third day, and you do it consistently over a period of time, the algorithm, regardless of what they change it to in the bigger picture, recognizes that you're serious about making content. And if you're serious about making content, the algorithm wants to help you. Remember, YouTube makes money if you make money. So it's not that they're working against you. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to find people who are serious and committed about making videos. And that's one of the things that the algorithm looks for. And then was the video of any use? Did people actually get something out of the video? And by that, they'll go by view duration. The longer the viewer stuck around, the more impactful the video was. So that's good. And then the engagement. Did you like it? Yes, that's good. You engaged. Did you comment? Yes, that's good. You engaged. Did you give it a thumbs down? Yes, you engaged. It's fine. It doesn't matter. YouTube doesn't care if you liked it or hated it. You engaged with it. And that's what the algorithm respects. Now, all of the other aspects of the algorithm do change, and they change on a regular. But those basics, that's the foundation of it, and that never changes.
That's why we always ask and make a big deal about leaving a thumb on the live. It makes a difference.
Speaking of which, yes, if you haven't left a thumbs up or a thumbs down,
damn thumb on the video.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. Just react. Just, you know.
Yeah. Anything, yeah.
Shannon's getting ideas from listening to us. Excellent.
Yeah, and all you need is an iPhone or a GoPro. You don't need anything fancy. Don't waste money when you're starting.
Yeah. Oh, that's another big thing that people. My production quality never matured.
Such shit.
My production quality has never matured past childish and angry. I mean, that's it, right? So you get his Doc. He's done many videos with me, right? I'll walk into his place. I whip out the camera. Says, "You ready? Yeah, go."
Let's go.
Let's go. And then as soon as we're done, like, okay, I put the camera away.
Goodbye. Give it to Kathy.
That's the total sum, you know, of effort that goes into the production quality of the videos. Because in my mind, it's like people don't care. As long as they're engaged or they're learning something from it, they don't care. Shadow here, bad light there. You know, it's like, it's just
backlit, can't see your face here and there. You learn all that crap. So,
and it's something I picked up from Scott from Cold War Motors. And he's like, he doesn't edit anything, right? And he's like, yes, I want it to be like you're hanging out in the shop. You know what I mean? I want the viewer to feel like he's part of the, you know, so we don't bother editing anything out. And if you don't like that, we'll drift away. So I've taken that same attitude towards like when we're filming. And actually, I've done it with Dr. Art, I've done it with everybody. We'll be in the middle of filming something, and I'll realize, oh wait, we're totally in the shadows, and I'll say, hey, okay, let's move over here.
Yeah. Be like, oh, ooh, this light's horrible. Well, okay, oh, that's better.
Yeah, most people would edit that out. I'm like, just roll with it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, but Shannon, in the next, by the end of the month, give yourself, 10 days or whatever it is, put out a video, get a YouTube account, set it up, do all the stuff, put out a video and let us know, and then we'll post, we'll put the link to it, and yeah, do it.
Yeah, Dean Stevens is saying, especially the backlighting with mysterious circles reflecting in your glasses. I finally figured out what to do, and I just did it just now before I hit the go button on this.
Let me do it with my light, like that. Yeah.
I grab these glasses. See them out here. Look. See now, if I turn my head like that, you see they're reflecting. So what I do now is before we go on, I bend them
up.
You see the angle there? So now I can look straight at you, and I can and just like this, and there's no reflection. But if I go from the normal angle, it's like that. And it only took me like 3 years to figure that one out. Wrinkled engine. Scott has amazing friends contributing. He absolutely does. Tim Jefferson, Tony, any interest in reviewing the carb cheater? Have you heard of it? Yes, I've heard of it. No, I have no interest in reviewing it.
Hold your thumb over a vacuum hose. Leaner, richer, leaner, richer.
Let's see. Yeah, this is a good question. Shout out to a big car. Where ever find the guy who makes the old clutch parts?
Well, yeah, they did find him, but he was, he's still working on it. So.
Bending your glasses is pretty hardcore. Feel free to use it, man. Get it. My gift to YouTube land. Rocco saying, can we ban these carb cheater and predator carb bozos already? It's every freaking video. I know. Thunderstruck. Carb shooter is great to add problems on a perfectly fine carburetor. No, the carb shooter cannot hurt the carburetor. It's a metered vacuum. Right? All he's doing is reading so he's using an air fuel meter to move a valve, to operate a valve, to increase and decrease the vacuum leak through. It can't hurt the carburetor. It can't really hurt the car's performance either. It can work. Do I have an interest in trying it? No, not at all. But I keep things simple. I like it simple. I'll just tune the carb for the occasion and go like that. His method is using electronics. Is using a computer to regulate a vacuum leak, and that's fine. It's just not something I'm interested in. Oscar Gonzalez, there was a product called the Turbinator to introduce turbulent airflow into a throttle body. Yeah, there's been all that. They've been doing that stuff since the Model T days, bro.
Would be for the years I spent running recon on used cars for these big dealers and Toyota and stuff. I made a fun little hobby of collecting those off trade-ins.
Really?
It's like a giant, like a tote of these things. You know, the ones they put in the tube and on the carb and on the, you know, and the intake and on the thing and the space plates and all the bullshit. Yeah, they all went in the big bin.
I need to check that out. It's so many different gizmos.
Mm-hmm.
The worst, the dumbest stuff I've seen, because you come across like the things that are just old wives' tales weren't necessarily marketed. And back, I'm going to say like early 80s, after the gas crunches, because I had a gas crunch in 73, and then you had another one in like 79. So there was still a lot of cars around that were functional during that period of time. And some of the Rube Goldberg stuff that you would come across, like people would actually they would put screens. There were people who would take, you know, like window screen and stretch it over the gasket and then bolt the carburetor down over on top of that, with the thought that it breaks up the droplets. But what it actually does is
it condenses the
fuel out of suspension. And I came across that more than once, you know, back in the day. I haven't seen anything like that since.
Oh yeah, people tried everything, you know, cool the fuel, heat the fuel, do this, you know.
My 6-4 Super Duty came with bar magnets wrapped around the charge pipe and the coolant hoses. Oh, they had that stuff too, where it aligns the molecules of the fuel.
Oh yeah. The guys taping magnets on their metal fuel line. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's.
It aligns your sister. Yeah, Dread Dip is saying, I like the magnets you clamp onto the fuel line. It's supposed to align the fuel molecules for better.
Yeah.
My NASCAR days, I watched some NASCAR back in like the 80s.
There was somebody else asking about if you've ever had any dealings with Mopar NASCAR people, but I don't think you have.
Well, say that again, Doctor?
There was a couple people asking if you've ever had any experiences with Mopar NASCAR motors and things like that.
Nothing. I've owned a lot of the parts. I remember I was all 426 Henry all the time for a dozen years or so. Back at the same time I was doing the fuel car thing. So yeah, I had tons of NASCAR bits and pieces, but nothing that I ever built or any erased or anything like that. Just you buy a pile of parts from an old NASCAR racer, and okay, here's some cylinder heads, here's some valve covers, but that's as far as it evolved for me.
And like Buddy's saying on the bottom there, the magnets on the oil filter to keep all the metal in. The metal's that's what the filter's for, is to trap the metal. You don't need it to be collected on the bottom of the tin.
Chevy Hemi. Do you remember Lammy? Of course I remember. Lamb Chop was a good guy until he wasn't. Yeah. You remember how she swore back in the day? Well, see, that was the other thing too, right? Well, I stopped for a couple. The first is that they ding you for any type of curse words. So there are different levels of advertiser, and when you do this for a living, you need to go for the higher level of advertiser. So you got to be careful what comes out, right? But cross the lines for community standards as far as advertisers go. And also, I realize that there's a lot of people who watch the stuff with their kids. I have a lot of religious people that watch this stuff. I have, people who have sensitivities, their sensibilities are different than ours, let's just say. I am from New York. So I keep the cursing to an absolute bare minimum. Just sometimes it just slips out and it's appropriate, and you don't get dinged for that. It'll tell you in the guidelines. But yeah, I'm careful. Nothing,
Yeah, a lot of people watch this like on their TV in their living room,
Yeah.
And their wife's already mad that they're watching two curmudgeons like us. We start cussing, and then it's all over.
Yeah, I want to be respectful for anybody who happens to be tuning in. I'm just scrolling back through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mark Sauvé, I bought circle track coilover shocks from a swap meet for my bracket car. It's after that I finally found out about spring rates. Different universes, man.
Yeah, you go to swap. Oh, cool coilovers, the right length, and they'll fit in there for completely wrong thing.
Dean Stevenson, who has sensibility, that's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Chevy Hemi, swearing is the brain thinking before saying the wrong thing mainly. Swearing in, okay, so as a New Yorker, I mean, I'm in Tennessee for 25 years now, 24 years, but as a New Yorker, cursing is normal, okay? And it's actually an essential part of speech. And I know it doesn't make much sense if you didn't come up in that area, but then it probably does at the same time, because it's like this. I could say, it's hot outside, okay? And it's like, well, okay, you made this statement, it's hot outside. It doesn't really register, right? If you say it's really, really hot outside, it's like, well, it must be pretty warm. It's hot, obviously. But if you say it's hot outside, it changes the complexion. It makes then you realize the unpleasantness and the gravity of the hot that's outside.
It's gone to effing hot, yeah.
Right, exactly. So in where I come from, in my native culture, that's normal. It's just a normal way of speech. The train is late. Well, is it a minute late? Is it 2 minutes late? The train is late, right? It's like, yes, okay, now I know. Now it's way late. Does that make any sense? It's the punctuation. It's the spice. It's the of the conversation. Let's see. I'm scrolling back up. Jeff R. Good day, legends. Yeah, he's a legend. Kind of legend. Could a hood scoop with a forward-facing opening cause a detrimental air turbulence through carpet? Absolutely. Most front-facing scoops cause detrimental air turbulence
Blow through the carburetor. Yeah.
over the carburetor. I did a whole video. One of the first videos we posted on this channel about 7 years ago now, called the Scoop on Scoops. And if you click on that, I look disoriented and drunk. I wasn't. It was just my natural state at the time, right? But I go over that whole thing on how the boundary layer and how if a scoop is not, if the opening, front-facing scoop is not positioned right within the boundary layer, it'll actually cause suction over the top and pull air from the engine instead of ramming it in there. And there's a difference between cold air induction and ram induction. And most things that are labeled ram induction are actually just cold induction and working against the, like the Oldsmobile had a good thing with the under the bumper, that was good ram induction. Mopar had it with the scoops. The 69 six-pack was the first really effective street scoop, because that was a boundary layer scoop. And then you look at the other ones like the shaker bubbles that they used on the Cudas and stuff. Those are terrible. They work exactly backwards because they're right there under the boundary layer. Boundary layer at speed.
It's the low pressure area. Yeah. Sucking it out. Yeah.
75, 100 miles an hour, and the boundary layer is above the level of that scoop. So what's happening is as the air flow comes and hits the top of the scoop, it causes a low pressure area underneath it and actually pulls the air out.
I think the best example of that is like a 65, 66 Mustang, those little tiny like bump scoops they put on them. They're like
Okay.
this high. Yeah, and it's you got basically a squirt off front end, and air coming over it, and this little scoop that's this high, on the short hood. It's like right over it. Doesn't do anything. It lets the heat out of the motor when you're at the stop sign, but that's about it.
Joker, what about the reverse facing shaker on a Trans Am? Same thing. Same thing.
That's the low pressure area.
Yeah. So if that shaker was positioned a little bit further back, okay, so let's say the engine was set back like against like the firewall, or I should say that scoop was at the within 6 to 8 inches of the base of the windshield, it would work, because at the windshield. So here's the windshield, okay, and here's the air coming at it. So as you're driving down the road, or you're going fast, okay, and the air hits the windshield like this, and it splits. So some of it turns around and goes this way, and the air that comes around and goes this way hits the cowl, right in the base of the windshield, right there, and that's where your cowl induction comes from. The rest of the air goes up and over the roof. So, but that's what happens. It comes, it hits, and it hits at different heights based on speed, based on frontal area, based on attitude of the car, based on weather conditions, based on all sorts of things. It doesn't hit the same exact spot every time. It moves up and down. But the foundation of it, where the air comes like this, and it splits and goes like that and goes like that, and the air that comes like this can be used as ram induction. On the Trans Am, the scoop is too far forward in the hood for that to have any effect.
Yeah, guys would drill holes in the back back off plate, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah, it would help at very low speeds, like maybe a little, make it a little torquier, 20, 30 miles an hour, because you don't have a lot of airflow. There's not a lot of dynamics going on. But for 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, there's a lot of wind. And a lot of people don't realize. So that boundary layer, air moves in all different directions. Here's what you do, right? Sprinkle some water on the hood of your car, okay, and take it out and drive it at 75 miles an hour, and watch the air, or watch the water, because it goes in all different directions. You would think, oh, it's going to get blown straight back at you, but it doesn't. At 60 miles an hour, some of it may be going out to the sides. At 80 miles an hour, it might be coming straight back. At 100 miles an hour, it could be going the other way and creeping towards the front of the hood. It just depends, because the boundary, anything under the boundary layer is it's always moving around. It's always doing crazy things.
That's why you can't dry your car off after a car wash by driving it real fast.
Yeah.
You would think, oh, if I go 80 miles an hour, the wind will just dry my car.
Right.
It doesn't. It just makes
water. All it does is make it dirty. Buddy Corfino, how about the hood flap on a 70 Chevelle? Yes, they work. That's cowl induction.
That's far enough back.
Yeah, that's legit cowl induction. And this was first done by the NASCAR guys in the very early 60s. Actually, it was done before the NASCAR guys. If you look at any car from that era, from the mid 70s back, well, I'm trying to think when they did it on the GM cars. The grills, the intake for the heat, or for the heating and cooling, right? Where is it? It's at the very base of the windshield. Why is it at the base of the windshield? Because as you're driving down the road, that area hits the windshield, goes straight down into those louvers. So if you want to know how effective, how much air is being blown that way at any given speed, you just open your vents, and that's how much air pressure is being. So the NASCAR guys were the first ones. I think it was the Pontiac guys in like 1960 or 1961 were the first ones to start tying their air cleaners with ducts to the base of the cowl in the firewall. And then later on, once you got to like the 64, 65, 66, it was just standard. All of the NASCAR cars had air cleaners that faced backwards and sealed against the firewall.
Yeah, before that they had on like say like a 57 Chevy, they had a big just blower under the hood somewhere, just open, and they piped it in because they didn't use the air coming down.
Right.
But if you go into the 30s, they had that little cowl vent to get air into the car, and it was right
Yeah.
at the base of the windshield.
And drive that stuff fast enough, and you're force feeding the engine.
Yeah.
Pick one, Doctor. Right?
Mopar Man 78, when Mopar would do flow tests, they would tape the ends of small strips of yarn all over the hood, front fenders, and roofs. Yeah, that came from the aircraft industry.
Right. They started doing that like World War One with the aircraft.
They were trying to get the bullets not to hit the prop and go sideways and everything else like that. They had to figure out what the air is doing.
We should do that, Dr. Art. We should take one of our vehicles and tape a bunch of strips to it and illustrate the different directions that air takes at different speeds. That could be a pretty interesting video.
Yeah, because we get all kinds of different shapes of cars, you know.
Yeah.
We'll wait till it stops snowing before we do that.
I don't want to go outside. I don't want to acknowledge it. I don't want to deal with it. Because you have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Buddy car, you know, what was the purpose of the vents GM put on the trunk lid, unlike like a 72 Impala and stuff like that, for that Astroflow ventilation?
Yeah, Astroflow, yeah. Same principle. The air as the air goes over the back of the roof, it causes it comes around, it rotates this way. It does two things. Air comes off the back of the roof, and the first thing it does is it tries to pull the back window out. Okay, so you've got a very high low pressure air, very strong low pressure area immediately behind the edge of the roof. And then when you go beyond that, the air gets sucked into that low pressure area and makes a loop like this, and it comes back around. And where it comes back around is where they had those vents in the Astroflow GM cars.
And that's the purpose. You see these, you know, small tire dragster guys on these Fox bodies and these Malibus, and they get this big long wing coming off the deck lid. Yeah. And that's because if the trunk ended like this, what happens? There's suction behind the car that's actually trying to pull the car backwards. That big wing moves that suction out so that air from the bottom of the car is no longer reacting with air from the top of the car, and they get rid of that.
I thought it was so that as the air comes off the bottom of the car, it's pulling down on the wing.
Well, that's pushing down, but it's also moving that vortex of low pressure further out away from the vehicle, so doesn't have that pulling effect. So when you pop your parachute, it goes out instead of just sits there and twirls.
Funny thing about parachutes and fire, you notice that, or air, the quality of air. If you notice, you ever see a fuel car on fire, and it'll pop the chute, and the chute will come out, but it doesn't blossom, and then it'll burn.
Because there's no air. All the air is taken up.
Not enough air to catch to catch the chute.
Yeah.
The best one is a picture from 1971. It was Perdomo's white car, so it'll be 71. And no, it'll be 72. 72. And there's a picture of this thing like on fire, okay? And it's in the lights, and I believe it was OCIR. And the car is standing up, like it's doing a full-on friggin' wheelie, you know, and because the fire burned up all the air under the car. And it just, everything on the top just took over and tried to pull the car backwards in a wheelie.
Dodge Power Ram, third from the bottom there. That's an interesting question.
I have a mysterious non-rhythmic sound coming from my torque plate. It's not coming from the pan, torque converter, or flex plate, but it sounds like it's coming from behind the frontmost trans cooling line. So that's where the band is. Mysterious non-rhythmic sound. Check the band adjustment. Google.
You think his band is loose and flipping in there? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it delay going into reverse?
It's not coming from the pan, torque converter, or flex plate, but it does sound like it's coming from behind the frontmost trans cooling line. Yeah, the only thing that's there that could possibly make any noise is the relationship between the drum and the band. So check the adjustment on that. Chevy Hemi, how well did the GM hole in the radiator support work? Probably not that well. You get a certain amount of air that comes through the grill. The holes in the radiator support won't really, that's more of a cold air intake or a way to get cooler air into the engine, and it's not going to be like a ram air type of deal. To get ram air out of the front of a car, you actually have to be out in front of, or just like in line with the front facing, most forward facing part of the car, like they did on the Oldsmobile scoops, those under bumper scoops. But you see, air at the front of the car is another thing too, because the faster you go, now
it pushes that cushion of air further.
Yeah, it pushes the air out. If you ever watch fast drag cars go through a grease sweep, so let's say they clean up the finish line, okay, and they're still off on the side of this grease sweep. If you ever watch fast cars run through grease sweep, you'll see that it starts pushing it out before the car even gets to it. You see it start to raise up the ground and get pushed out of the way. So the faster you go, the more further out that impact is. Where the front of the car, the actual frontal area of the car, isn't really doing anything. It's creating a wall of air that's piling up in front of it, and that is why it's so hard to go fast aerodynamically. It's why it takes exponentially more horsepower. The faster you go, the more horsepower it takes to push through that crazy air resistance that's happening at the very front of the car. And it doesn't really matter. Streamlining doesn't really matter that much. So it'll take like 25 horsepower to keep a typical car running at 50 miles an hour. Then you go to like 70 miles an hour and it takes 90 horsepower. You get to 80 miles an hour and it takes 125 horsepower. You get to 100 miles an hour, it takes 200 horsepower. You go to 150, or let's say it just keeps going exponentially higher until you get to like 200 miles an hour. But the difference between 210 miles an hour, 200 and 210 miles an hour is like 300 horsepower. So it all has to do with the air resistance that's being built out in front of the car that it has to muscle through.
Right. And just for trivia, that cushion of air out in front of your vehicle, if your vehicle is fast enough, like an airplane, that can catch that bubble of air and actually pass through it, that's the speed of sound. That's when you get a sonic boom, because the air is actually crashing into the vehicle instead of balling up in front of the vehicle.
We should attempt to create a sonic boom in front of our vehicles.
Well, like I said, I got
on your street, right? On your street, because it's long and it's straight and it's wide. So yeah, we need to sonic boom your block.
Blow out the windows on everyone's house on the whole block. Oh, they did it. They just didn't stop in time. The Dodge Power Ram.
I just see that. We have had the transmission out of the truck 3 times now and can't find the problem. It shouldn't be the front band. We check the adjustment each time we take it apart. Shifts into reverse fine. So the location where you're saying the noise is coming from, the band is the only thing that's there. Let's think about what else could make a rhythmic sound, or any sound. If it's a pump noise, it's going to be a whine. Like if the pump is really worn, an issue like that, it's going to be a whine. And that would come from approximately, you hear it approximately in that area. Behind that, what do you got? You got the drum that's stuck into the clutches? No. There's not much spinning in that area that could make that kind of noise.
Is it some kind of harmonics off the drum, and he needs to drill a couple holes in the drum to break up the harmonics there?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. You're not finding any metal in the pan or anything like that? I think you gotta just pull the pump out, pull the front of the tranny apart. I mean, that's and look for scuffs or weirdnesses or anything like that.
Yeah. But he's had it out 3 times. I'm sure he doesn't want to take it out again. He's like, ah.
Rocco has a good plan here. Neutral drop the bitch and move on with life. It'll fix itself in the chat. Rocco, you won the internet today.
You win the prize tonight, Rocco. That's right.
Yeah. Bob's Chop Shop. Is it a 4x4? Could be the chain and the transfer case. My Power Wagon does the same thing you're saying. Well, I mean, but the location. I mean, the transfer case.
Well, if the vibrations will travel and really mess you up. You know.
That's true. Things do telegraph. And D. Stroud was saying, could a word planetary gear cause trans noise? The location he's talking about would be ahead of the planetary by a few inches. But yeah, the noise could be telegraphing through the transmission. It could be a sloppy planetary, yes.
Yeah, because he says, Bob's, he's got the same sound you're talking about from the transfer case.
Take it apart. Take it apart, man. That's the only thing you do. Just take it apart. Mexican Scott had a question further up.
Scott.
I'm looking.
Where's Scott?
There he is.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Wow. My friend has a strange noise coming from his 3D3. Is it possible that new rings will interfere with the ridge at the top of the cylinder if the rod bearings were refreshed? No.
No, new bearings will bring the piston down. Yeah. Because the rod end's worn, it could, that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't hear it either. What kind of noise is it?
I mean, it could be piston noise, but it's not from new bearings.
Well, it's a strange noise. So, as Rocco says, perhaps he needs to just neutral drop the bitch.
Drop the bitches.
It'll fix itself.
Yeah.
It's an internal noise more than a tick. Internal more than a tick. Does the noise go away? So if you ground the plug wires as the engine is running, does the noise go away?
And he said it gets worse when warm, but it's not piston slap. So.
Well, why do you say that? Piston slap isn't necessarily temperature sensitive. So does the noise go? So as the engine's idling, okay, and you ground each cylinder, or you pull a plug wire off each cylinder, does it ever go away? Or does it change? Because that's the first thing I do. And I get a noise and I can't identify it right away. Start grounding plug wires. And I take the test light widget in there, and it's generally speaking, piston noises, top end noises from the piston will generally go away or change drastically when you take the pressure away. So like running a spark plug, you let it relax and you'll hear a change. You'll hear a difference.
And he said it doesn't. He just posted that
It does
it doesn't
not
change.
change when grounding plugs.
Hmm.
I don't know, bro. I do not know. I've had so many different things make weird noises. Does it have a windage tray? I've had them where the windage tray was bent. You don't realize it. You put the windage tray up there. You got to fire it up, and tick, tick, tick,
Bang,
tick,
bang,
tick.
bang, bang, bang. Yeah.
You'll get a very light tick because it just barely, you know.
Yeah. And if you put new bearings in it, he was getting the pan off and prying the pan off and the windage tray off, and yeah, just a little tweak.
I don't know. Dread Dip says, sounds like neutral drop.
No drop is the answer.
No all stock rebuild, very basic engine. Yeah, but if it was a factory HP motor, if it had a 4-barrel carburetor, dual exhaust, that sort of thing, it came with a windage tray. It doesn't have to be anything exotic. But you know, just in the course of handling them, sometimes you know somebody step on it. And, you know, I don't know. I'm reaching. You know, I'm just trying to think. You know, you take all of the obvious things out of the equation. What could it possibly be? I don't know. Don't know. Yeah, let me know. Let you know when we figure it out. Meanwhile, neutral drop. Yes.
And go to the one above that one too.
When all else fails, just push it till it breaks, and then like the answer becomes self-evident.
Oh, there it is.
Uh,
Yeah, right above that. Yeah, take the whole engine completely apart and find out it's a marble in the ashtray. Yeah.
I remember a Buick V6. No, actually, I did a video about John Tanio last week, and I remember he bought a Regal V6 from one of the yards, and he's like, "Motor's dead. You know, you got to change the motor." So I fired it up. I was getting ready to do the engine job. It didn't sound quite like they normally do, and the oil light wasn't on. Like it didn't do any. It didn't have any of that normal oil. You know, the normal V6 failure noises. Just a steady, tuk, 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 and it never changed. Like so rod knocks will. So an engine's knocking, right, tuck, 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 and you give it gas, and it'll knock a little bit louder, and then when the engine levels out, the knock kind of goes away because like the rod sticks inside or the journal for in that period of time, and it won't knock. It just kind of like rolls with it, right? And it wouldn't do that. No matter what RPM or load, it didn't knock. And what happened was it was a dent in the friggin' oil pan. They had hit something in the road and it dented the oil pan. And the way I fixed it was I took an oxyacetylene torch while the engine was running, and I just heated the bottom of the pan to like dull red, and the noise went away. And that was it.
Because whatever was hit, they just pushed it out. Yeah. There you go. Fresh engine. Thank you.
Let's see. Bob stopped. I had a gear drive on my 383 and it was eating the cover.
That'd make a noise.
What kind of gear drive would eat the cover?
A bad one.
I don't know. Bob's Chop Shop. Get into more detail there because I can't picture it, and you may have a problem that other people come across. So like, get a little more into the detail on that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Tony, I messaged more info to try and get this nightmare figured out. Dutch Power, I'm like, I gave you everything I could think of off the top of my head. And you got to tear it apart. I mean, it's just simple. It just comes a time after the third time you pull the transmission, and you still can't find a problem, now it's got to come apart. It goes up on the bench, and poof, it's got to vomit its guts, and it's the only way you're going to find it, man. And think of it this way: even if you identify it, you still have to go in there, and you still got to take it apart. So take it apart.
Yeah. But like Bob Chop Shop said too. Open up that transfer case since you're there. Take a look at the
Josh
chain.
Power Ram, he's like
beating
me.
up the case. Yeah.
Anything to avoid taking a training apart.
Oh, I know.
I'm looking for Bob's Chop Shop. I want to see his. It
was a while ago up there.
Yeah, but let's see if he. Oh, it's tore apart right now. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It was a cheap Chinese gear drive setup for a big block mall park, and the cam button on the cam was not spinning and eating the cover. So you had a roller in there. You had a roller cam in there.
Roller cam and a gear drive and this and that.
Yeah, because see a flat top of cam, the taper on the lobes, and also the helical cut on the oil pump drive are both designed to push the camshaft back all the time, especially when it's under load, where a roller doesn't have that taper. And so the only thing holding the camshaft back is the distributor drive. And in that case, when an RPM comes back, the drive represents more resistances. It reverses and it actually tries to pull the cam forward. That's really where the cam button comes in. Like you could have a gear drive without a cam button, and it won't be a problem until it's a roller. I'm scrolling back through here. You know what, Bob's Chop Shop? Give John Cope a message. He's the guy. He's the transmission guy. I'm like a silly little girl over her head with a science project when it comes to transmission.
Yeah, the Dodge Power Ram guy with the noise. Yeah, get a hold of John Cope.
Get a hold of John. He's really helpful. Really good guy. Hit him up with that question, and I'm sure he'll throw all sorts of things at you. He's my go-to. When I'm stumped by something, I call him. Neutral drop. Just saying.
Yes.
We put brand new 4-pinion planetaries in it, so it's not that. The sound is like 3 or 4 tings and a break in the rhythm, so not a consistent one after another. The sound doesn't start until after the trans warms up. Does it make a difference if it's in gear or not? Is it only in neutral, only in park? Does it happen the same way when it's in gear, in forward, in reverse?
These are all good questions.
Phil McConnell, thank you for the super chat. Aerodynamics can be weird. Boundary layer exists, but not the same way across the board. Most World War II era planes had a ram air for the carburetors that was directly behind the propeller. Can you think of a better place to force air into the... Thank you for the super chat, Phil. Wheelie King is saying broken flex plate on a Chrysler. Oh, it's so rare. It's so rare. And
they've had it out 3 times. They've seen that. Yeah.
That's a GM or a Ford problem. Anyway, they've had it out. they've had it out. If it was making, they'd notice it. I'm sure that they looked at that. So it doesn't in park, neutral, drive, reverse, second, third, etc.
Weird. So it's just like
why you got to hit me with these things? Now I got to go back and got to read the last thing you said. We performing so not that. The sound is like 3 or 4 tings and then a break in the rhythm, so not consistent, one after another. The sound doesn't start until after the trans warms up. So after things expand, it starts to make that noise. 3 or 4 tings, then a break. And he's describing it as tings, not a knock. A ting. All right. And only after it warms up.
Which is weird.
So the relationship between the band and the drum is going to change when it warms up, but he's already tried different adjustments, and that didn't fix it. And it happens regardless of whether it's in any position. Okay, so you can narrow it down this way, right? If it happens in park, if you get a noise in park, let's say, okay, what is spinning when it's in park? You narrow it down to that. What is spinning when it's in park? What parts are actually in motion when it's in park? So clearly, planetary wouldn't be a problem.
What is spinning on a 727 when it's in park?
Things.
Things. Yeah, the converter, the pump, and the.
I bet you it's on the converter, and you're hearing it back there. I bet it's got to be in the converter. Has to be in the converter. Because the pump isn't going to give you a ting. If the pump, no. Dude, it's got to be in the converter. Got to be in the converter. Bob's Chop Shop. Yeah, it was a flat top of cam. This was 10 years ago, and now that I think about it, it was more. It was on the idler gears on the drive that were eating the cover, not the cam button. Oh, okay. So I've never used that type of I know the setup you're talking about. It's like the kind of floating gears in there. I've never used a floating on a tie bar. I've never used that style of gear drive, so I'm not familiar with like the stuff that they do. I've used like gear drives where it's the whole front cover, with the fixed idler gear.
Now they're messing with Dead Drip says, yeah, put it back without the torque converter and see if it makes a noise.
See, that's why he's going to make it in nitro. Because it's
he thinks out the box
like that. That's the right man for the job. What's the frequency, Kenneth?
Yeah. We've swapped out 2 freshly rebuilt converters. Surely it can't be that, right? Well, like I said, who said that up? Yeah, Mopar. I mean, it's not an exhaust leak that's opening up, and you're hearing that.
Yeah, you got something else going on there, man. You got something going on there. It's not an internal transmission noise. You got something that's telescoping. You got to,
especially if it's in park.
Yeah, at this point, honestly, right? I can't even guess it. I would have to actually hear it and actually have to be there with it. You know what I mean? And experiment with it. So I can't. Any like I've gone as far as I can go. Find it, fix it. You ever see that channel on YouTube called Tales from the Bush? That guy came across a lot of unique cars that he buys. I saw a video yesterday or last night. it was it was about a Super Bee. It was a '68 Super Bee. It was supposed to be a Hemi Super Bee. There was supposed to be a prototype car, and he knew this because the decal, the bumblebee stripe, didn't have the B in the circle where it says Super B. Okay, okay, fine, early production car or whatever. But then he says that the engine and transmission, the car was stolen from the factory. So somebody got disgruntled or fired, and they stole the car, and then they crashed the car, and they crashed it so hard that the engine and transmission were thrown out of it and across the road. This is the story that he told. All right. All right. So having been very familiar with crashed and destroyed Mopars, I can tell you that right now, it is not even remotely possible that 426 Hemi and the transmission are going to be extracted from a car during an impact, and there would be anything left of the car to even really recognize as what it was. Okay. And when you look at the damage on this car, the front of the top of the windshield is dented in, and the cowl is messed up. Okay. It looks like as if the front of the car drove under something. But the story falls apart when you look at the front frame rails, because the inner fenders are cut away from the car, but the wheels are in place and they're in line, and the front frame rails are in place and in line. So what could he have possibly hit to tear a 700-pound hunk of cast iron and another 175 pounds
out of its mounting and wiring and everything else?
right out of its mounting, ripped apart the exhaust, did all of this other stuff, right, and toss it across the road? No, that just did not happen. So
It's a good story. So it's 10% true. Maybe it was stolen at one time, and the rest is all mush.
Rocco, didn't you borrow a six-pack from setup from a Fatality? I didn't borrow it. I stole it. I had no intention of giving it back. They were dead. It was done.
Yeah.
See ya. Dodge Power Amp. We use a stethoscope and hear it in the transmission. Oh, Jesus. Would an exhaust leak only start making noise after it warms up? Yes, it could.
Yeah.
I know I've asked a lot. I just wanted to make sure it isn't something obvious. Yeah, so an exhaust leak, so cold, let's say there's a crack in the pipe, manifold, anything like that. Exhaust leak, where the pipe is cold, is contracted. Now the pipe warms up and it spreads a little bit, and you may get a sound like that. I'm not saying that's what it is, but could be. Danny Boy, whoa, they were still in a car. No, they took the bodies out of the car. It was just something he rode on, like a bent around telephone pole. It was on Highland Boulevard in Staten Island. And they took the bodies out of the car and they left the car there. This happened like in the middle of the night. And I guess they didn't have whoever it is, they did their investigation and then they left one cop to watch it. I guess in the morning they were going to remove it. They didn't have whoever. And at some point that cop left. And as soon as that cop left, I ran across the street and it was the world's fastest six-pack setup. I was 16 years old. You know what I mean? You got to cut me some slack here. I was 16. And it was the world's fastest six-pack induction system removal. Chevy Hemi liked the Holly repair video with the BFH. Okay, so according to Dean Stevenson, the value of 0.7850 is derived by calculating the numerical value of the expression that.
Pi over 4. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dean. See, Dean's very smart.
Well, pi divided by 4 would be 0.7850, so he's correct.
And you, more advanced math.
Well, everybody whip out your calculator. 70.7850 times 4 is 3.14.
Danny Boyd is saying, he said there was a bunch, I saw that. So there's a bunch of bolts left out off because it was a show car.
No. It's still not going to yeet itself from the freight rails, without destroying the entire car. It had landed pristinely in a bush next to a bunny. Where a handy woodsman came and picked it up with one hand and hauled it away in his wagon.
Right. Thanks for trying to help out your stand-up guy. That's what we're here for, man. This is why we do Tech Talk Live. We try to figure out problems. And we get sidetracked with everything under the sun, but yeah, that's kind of the purpose of this. Thank you for clicking, man. The haunted Hemi block. I'll tell that story again. But yes, I did have a haunted Hemi block, and I've Kathy is my witness. Overheating will compromise valve springs. Yes. Internal overheating from overspeeding them. So even if they don't float, by overspeeding valve springs, it creates internal heat, and you lose their temper that way. That's one of the things. You look at two sets of valve springs. Like you'll get a set of high RPM springs, and you look at them, and they appear to be exactly the same as the stock ones you took out. Like the wire is the same diameter, they'll have like the same damper and all that. And you're like, well, and the same height. You're like, well, how is this any better than that? And it's because the composition of the metal is intended to take on the harmonics and the frequencies that happen when a valve's opening and closing at 8,000 RPM. It's the composition that allows a spring to live longer. And Dean Stevenson likes to sing for his supper. That's admirable, bro. Admirable. I mean, any particular genre of music? I Gregorian chants. I can see that. I could see that.
Well, and maybe Dean's on the corner with a ukulele, with a little cup, working for tips.
Okay, one more thing. Could a wore-out valve body make a noise like that? Possibly. This is my last one. I get straight out of your hair. I don't see how, but by the fact that you're saying it makes the same noise regardless of what position you're in. Every one of those positions causes a different flow path through the valve body. So, no.
It's got a loose filter. Tick, 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 tick,
Richard Hayes is in the house. Hello, Richard Hayes. And now I say goodbye because, dude, we got to start wrapping it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you have on the agenda? What is going on in your big world, Dr. Art?
Well, it depends. I have some engine prep and cleaning, so we can start reassembling on the 305 to put in the budget Dos Caminos. I got new wheels today, and then there's another project that got dumped in my driveway the other day. That's more of a headache for me, but that's okay.
Headaches are good. They make good content.
Yeah, so I got stuff, and it's a cool vehicle, and they'll see it. Like I said, depending on the weather, it's either ice or snow covered this weekend, or because I got a couple days of be busy the next couple days. But over the weekend, if it's just normal weather, we'll get that block prepped and cleaned again, and may start reassembly on that 305 because the heads are done.
Excellent. So,
and the titles should be here for him, so they'll be, it'll be no time, and that thing will be on the road.
and you are going to take me up on that challenge?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see that. We'll see. Like I said, depending on if it's bearable to go outside, we'll see. We'll have that video this weekend also.
Okay. And have you talked to Brian Buell?
No, I haven't. I don't have Brian's contact info. You can.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So as all of that exciting stuff is happening on Dr. Hart's Hot Rod Rehab. So go over there and like and sub and share and just all of that. Ring bells, all of that.
Ring bells, take in the information, watch some things, and
Yes.
hit some buttons and do a little dance and have a good time.
Yes. What else was there? I can't.
Oh, and then there may be, because everyone's asking for dragster updates.
Yeah.
We finally got a few tiny parts in, but to put those tiny parts in, it's kind of a dodgy situation with fluids higher than things and going through all that. So
Okay. So, but the clutch parts are evidently in the works now.
yeah, apparently they're in the works. They're closer than they were a couple weeks ago.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, hopefully the weather breaks a little bit before we get to actually working on it. So, if anything, at least we're not huddled around a little kerosene heater trying to stay warm while we work on a car. So,
yeah, that's probably why that parts video on that dragster is not done, because it's freezing over there.
well, real quick super chat here. Thank you, Richard Hayes. Tony, I have a music recommendation for you Sunday. Well, we'll spit it out now, Richard.
He's doing a teaser.
Yes, don't tease me.
He's hooking you. Yeah.
I'm going to thank our awesome. We got a minute or so. So I'm going to thank our awesome mods for everything they do. Zero, Fubar, Mexican Spec, guys. Thank you so much. And Mexicans, Zero, Fubar, they always put up the links to our merch and stuff like that. So if you want to buy hats, stuff, things, shirts, you just scroll back through the chat here and find the links for that. Thank you, Fubar. Everybody contributed super chat, including you, Richard Hayes. Thank you so much. It's always appreciated, never expected. Thank you. And everybody contribute your presence and your conversation. We thank you equally because it's you guys, it's your clicks that allow us to do this stuff. If you can remember, hit the like on the way back out because that does help the channel. And I'm still looking for the music suggestion from Richard Hayes. Come on, Richard. Bachman Turner Overdrive, huh?
That's definitely, yeah.
Banshee. Okay, let's see. Banshee, they're from your neck of the woods. Please check them out. Band in the 60s that faded into obscurity. I know you will love them. Banshee with a C. From the 60s, from my neck of the woods. Okay. You know, Jimi Hendrix played here. There's a little club off of Old Nashville Highway. It's a wreck now. It's like been abandoned for decades. But the famous spot that Jimi Hendrix played once. And then we had Timothy Leary came here. Timothy Leary stayed in Murfreesboro for a couple of days and declared that Davis Market, which is on the corner of Maine and Middle Tennessee, is the center of the universe. And if you go into Davis Market and drink a beer, which back in the day you could do that, just walk there, drink it, pay for it. If you drink a beer there, you can never leave Murfreesboro. So that's more Murfreesboro local legend. Guys, that's it.
Oh, and Elvis stayed here once at the Ramada on Church Street.
Who did?
Elvis.
Did he?
Yeah. At the Ramada on Church Street, we're always having the baseball card swap meets right over by the Chrysler dealer. Yeah, he stayed there back in the day.
I actually saw a pretty interesting video from a guy who claims, and actually he's got some pretty good stuff, that Elvis is actually the Antichrist. That Elvis is Lucifer. He had some pretty good stuff.
Well,
Right.
if he's got facts, anything's possible.
I'm just saying it was pretty interesting. So that's it, guys. I'm hitting the out button. Let's end this at exactly 2 hours. We got 15 seconds.
Everybody 10. Let's see.
Nice. You're gonna sing us
Should
out.
we count down? 10, 9.
I hit the first end stream button.
7,
And
6,
let's
5,
see.
4, 3,
Get other YouTubers top
2,
this.
1.
Bang,
Goodbye.
out.